What if I told you Nate Diaz actually turned down a fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov? That's right. One of the biggest dream fights in UFC history almost happened, but Nate said no, and his reasons might surprise you. When the UFC offered Nate Diaz the fight with Khabib, the timing was completely off from Diaz's perspective. He had just fought Benson Henderson for the lightweight title in late 2012, which meant Diaz was operating at the very top of the division. At that point, he was a proven contender who had already beaten established names to earn his title shot. Khabib, on the other hand, was still a newcomer in the UFC, only a few fights into his run, with no big-name wins yet. For Diaz, taking on a fresh prospect right after competing for the belt didn't align with where his career was. He expected fights that matched his status, against top 5 ranked opponents, not someone who hadn't proven himself on the elite level yet. This explains why Diaz immediately brushed it off, seeing it as a step backward rather than a meaningful opportunity. If you're enjoying this breakdown and you love daily UFC updates, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now and join the MMA Thread community. We bring you the stories behind the fights every single day. From Diaz's perspective, accepting a fight with Khabib at that time made little sense because the risk far outweighed the reward. Khabib was an undefeated, hungry wrestler with a smothering style that could make any opponent look bad. Yet, because he was still relatively unknown, beating him wouldn't elevate Diaz's career. On the flip side, if Diaz lost, it would hurt his reputation and push him down the rankings, especially damaging right after coming off a title fight. Diaz felt like the UFC was trying to use his name value to build up a new star. To him, that was unfair matchmaking. He wanted fights that matched his drawing power and ranking, not a dangerous stylistic matchup with someone the fans didn't even know well yet. The offer for Diaz versus Khabib likely came in early 2013, right after Nate lost his title shot against Benson Henderson in December 2012. Around this time, Khabib had only just gone 3-0 in the UFC and wasn't yet a household name. Dana White later admitted in 2014 that the UFC tried to book the matchup, but Diaz refused. This timeline matters because it shows how early the idea was floated, long before Khabib became a dominant champion or a pay-per-view star. To Nate, it felt like the UFC was asking him to fight someone way down the list immediately after facing the champion. In hindsight, fans see it as a missed dream fight, but back then Diaz viewed it as poor matchmaking that didn't respect his standing in the division. So now you know why Nate Diaz turned down Khabib. But what do you think? Did Nate make the right call, or did he miss out on the biggest fight of his career? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe to MMA Thread for more UFC updates every day.